What's up, everybody? It is Sunday, which I hardly ever do a video on Sunday, but it is Sunday, September 3rd, and I thought I'd put out a video. As you know, I'm back in Cali. Beautiful day here, absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, I'm not going to talk so much about the market today. I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about mental game and behavior. I haven't done a video on that for a long time. One of the things I've been thinking about recently is, it's kind of human nature to try to avoid fear and adversity, hardship. And I could totally understand that from like a human point of view. We all tend to try to run away from that, to try to avoid fear and adversity and hardship. And the fact of the matter is that, first of all, that when it comes to investing and trading in the financial markets, as you know, a lot of times I talk about the psychology and the behavior of the zombies, the monetarists, and it is exactly tied to what I'm talking about in terms of fear, aversion, running from adversity. What seems like, in this business, what seems like the easy or the comfortable thing to do, right? Like so many times I talk about the headline traders, like they see a headline pop up, like somebody at the Fed said something or Powell said something, and they think, oh, this is a slam dunk. I just ought to go with whatever he said or whatever that person said or whatever the headline is. And I always say to go against that, because what that embodies, what that encapsulates, is the behavior of people running away from adversity and running towards comfort. And this is not only applicable in investing and trading in the financial markets. This is applicable, totally applicable in life. The more you try to avoid discomfort and adversity, the less resilience you're going to have, the farther you are going to get from success or achieving your goals, and you are going to become almost paralyzed in a sense to do the things that you need to do to get where you want to be or to achieve a life that you aspire to. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's really not. First of all, in life, we cannot avoid hardship, periods of discomfort or sadness or pain, low points that come, every now and then. And it's much better to not just even accept those things, but to embrace them. Because the more you embrace them and the more you live in those negative moments, let's call them negative moments, but in reality, they're not really negative. They're powerful, powerful teaching and molding elements for you and your behavior and your life. The more you embrace them and the more you can just sit comfortably in those situations, the stronger and more successful you are going to be. When you're down, and I'm talking about when you're really down, and this could apply to, if you want to bring it back to the trading analogy or the trading situation, when you're going through a difficult period and the market is moving against you, and you just understand what is happening, have control over your emotions, and you're at that nadir, that low point, even the slightest move up is now an improvement from that situation. Nothing stays bad forever, and nothing stays good forever. Having an even keeled view of things and a balance in the way you see things is extremely important. But even more important than that is what I said before, is that you should run toward, instead of running away from fear and discomfort, you should run towards those things. You know, I've said this in the past. In my Forex video course that I used to give, and by the way, you could still purchase that online at my website, but in the course, I used to tell my students, give me a trade to do right now, unannounced, unplanned, I have no idea, and as a matter of fact, try to make it the hardest trade that you could think of. In other words, if we were looking at a certain currency pair and that currency pair was rising or in a bullish trend, I would say, give me the opposite of that. Give me something that looks really, really tough. I don't know what it's going to be. You can pick any currency pair that you want. Didn't necessarily have to be a dollar pair. It could be something else. And they would give me something, and because the object of the lesson was that if you stay composed and you stay calm, you could work yourself out of it. Almost always for a small profit. Worst case, you could work yourself out of it at a break even or maybe a slight loss. But what I was trying to teach was that none of us know the future with certainty, okay? What we try to do, or what I try to do, what I try to help you with, is put together a set of concepts and ideas which logically and rationally explain what is happening in the economy on a macro level. And on a macro level, to use a phrase, a rising tide floats all boats, and the opposite is true. Like a receding tide will, put the boats in the sand. So when you have that big picture, it should allow you to be comfortable under difficult situations, or you should at least train yourself to be comfortable under difficult situations. I see a lot of people here who are chasing after some kind of short-term, system-based, what I call the system fairy method of investing, and you have no patience. You don't want to deal with the fact that adversity and discomfort is a part of the game. You want to avoid that at all costs. In other words, you're constantly running from that when it is, you cannot run from that, because that's going to be like a shadow chasing you at all times. It's unavoidable. There are going to be times when you're just going to be faced with an uncomfortable situation and adversity, and you're going to have to just kind of buckle down and get through it. And the more you embrace this idea, the more you allow yourself to just be comfortable in that situation, you achieve a tremendous amount of control over your emotions and your behavior, and that's empowering. That's what gives you the power and the confidence to, amass a lot of wealth over time. It's the patience, it's the ability to endure discomfort, it's the ability to deal with adversity without freaking out, without trying to run for safety, which is an impossibility. I see this all the time. I see people wanting to, on the search of the holy grail of trading systems that will do the work for them without them ever having to endure any kind of adversity or discomfort. I talked in the past about, and it's been shown mathematically that you could take a very simple system like a moving average system, and over time, a long period of time, it will achieve a positive rate of return. Not a very high rate of return, but it will achieve a positive rate of return. But most people would never stick with that, number one, because the return is not fantastic. It's some small alpha over a risk-free rate of return. But the other thing is that, yeah, every once in a while, you're going to get some big profit. But then in between that point when you're going to get a big profit, you're going to take loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. And most people cannot endure that. I don't even recommend that you go through that, because there are better approaches. I frankly think that what I teach about the macro understanding and then aligning yourself with that, aligning your trading or investing with that, is the superior way of doing it. But obviously, I can't force anyone to follow what I preach. You know, I have people who sign up to my report and then, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they quit because they don't have the patience to stick with it and acquire an educated view and knowledge and understanding. It's too much work. And they're out there, like I said, trying to find a way that doesn't entail those things. I mean, work is work. Most people are averse to work because it requires commitment, it requires persistence. You may not get it right away. You lose interest because you don't get it. I mean, a commitment is involved. A commitment is necessary. But the thing you have to realize is that you cannot run away from fear. You cannot run away from adversity. You cannot run away from discomfort. It's a reality of life. It's going to show up. And yeah, there are going to be times that are great too. But those, as everybody knows, like, those are temporary as well. I mean, we go through periods up and down. It's the yin yang of the universe. And everybody can enjoy great, happy moments, and when things are going smooth, I mean, that's easy. That's a no-brainer. But that gets you nowhere. You learn nothing from that. You learn nothing from that. The quest, really, again, it sounds counterintuitive, but the quest, the goal should be to go towards the fear, go towards the discomfort, go towards the adversity. Learn to survive within that atmosphere. Get comfortable in that atmosphere. Don't try to push it away. You have no control over that. Those things are going to come during the course of your life, no matter how hard you try to avoid them. I mean, like I said, that's like a shadow chasing after you. The best thing to do is run towards it. If you run towards it, if you embrace it, if you just sit there within it and allow it to be around you and you are immersed in it, and the understanding that the next phase is a phase that moves you back up. And because you went through that, your resilience, your strength, your ability to control your emotions and your behavior come that much stronger. And the impact of fear and adversity, the negative impact in terms of the impact it has on you, on your emotions, each time you face up to that, it's gonna reduce the ability of those environments to negatively impact you. And once you do that, your confidence is going to go through the roof, and you're going to see a change, a very, very profound change in the results, not just in your investing, but in your life, completely in your life. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I really hope that some of you take this to heart. I see a lot of people out there who really, I think, really, truly, deeply want to learn and be successful, but they give up very easily because they feel it's too much work. They don't want to make the commitment. There's some excuse that they're going to make up to rationalize them going, chasing after that system fairy or whatever, or chasing after happiness. I mean, the only way to be happy is to be able to deal with periods in life that are difficult. And the only way you can do that, it's like, it's like resistance training. I mean, the only way your muscles get stronger is through resistance. Same thing with your brain and your emotions. I mean, you have to go through resistance, and that resistance is in the form of hardship and adversity. So, again, don't try to run away from it. You can't run away from it. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. And sometimes it's there very acutely and severely. And that, that can apply in many ways. It could apply in relationships. It can apply in health situations. It can apply in financial situations. It comes. That's just a factor of life. It's a fact of life. So I'm really saying run towards that fear. Run towards the adversity. Run towards the discomfort. Get comfortable with it. Use that or see that. Don't see that as, oh my God, here we go again, and poor me, and this is not working out. See that as, this is great. This is fantastic. This is going to make me stronger. This is going to make me more resilient. This is going to make me more in control of my emotions and my behaviors. And that is the secret to success. Run towards it. Don't run away from it. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.